Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Makin bin Ahmad Kamal. I'm from RSR 2454B. Today I'm going to do movie critique for movie Black Panther. Okay, first I will start from the synopsis. Okay, after the death of his father, which is T'Challa returned home to the African nation of Wakanda to take his rightful place as a king. And then, when a powerful enemy suddenly reappears, T'Challa, mettled as king as a Black Panther, get tested when he drawn into a conflict that put a fate of Wakanda and the entire world at risk. Faced with the treachery and danger, the young king must rally his allies to release the full power of Black Panther to defeat his foes and secure the safety of his people.
Tell me about this one.
Also from Benin, 7th century, Fula tribe, I believe.
Nah.
I beg your pardon.
It was taken by British soldiers in Benin, but it's from Wakanda, and it's made out of vibranium. Don't trip. I'm gonna take it off your hands for you.
These items aren't for sale.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid a fair price? Or did they take it like they took everything else?
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
You got all this security in here watching me ever since I walked in, but you ain't checking for what you put in your body.
All right, mate, let's have it. Come on, mate, time.
I think she might not be feeling too good. Hey, somebody get some help. Come here. Call the doctor, please.
Next is the synopsis of the video from Critical Incident 1. First, synopsis is Eric Killmonger visit museum to study about artifact at the museum. After that, he asks to the worker about the artifact that he wanted to know. Okay, for the critical incident, which is from a scene, it shows that the worker actually is lying to Eric regarding the origin of the sledgehammer. For next, for the analysis, is dishonest, which is actually the sledgehammer that Eric asked for, which is not from Benin, and the original location is from Wakanda. Okay, the causes of effect when the worker is honest about telling something. The reason for the worker to be dishonest about the sledgehammer because she doesn't want to reveal where they get the item. This will affect the company because they being dishonest about this artifact. For the theory I use is information manipulation theory, which is the worker used to manipulate Eric to hide the truth about the sledgehammer. And lastly, how to improve. Okay, as we know, museum is a place for everyone to increase their knowledge about ancient artifacts. So the worker of the companies need to be honest to explain the artifact that been shown on display. Next is synopsis of the video for Critical Incident 2. After having argument between Eric and the worker, suddenly the worker feel nauseous and she fell on the floor in pain. The critical incident is from the scene. It showed that the company lack of security because Eric has the opportunity to put poison in the drink. Okay. Next one is analysis for this scene is careless. It shows the worker doesn't check what she will drink and not being suspicious with Eric until he told her be careful what she put on her body. Okay, when all of the cause and effect is the result of her carelessness causing her to lose balance and she fell down. It also causes the bodyguard that are in this situation to lose focus very. That's why he tried to steal the sledgehammer. Okay, for the theory that I use for this scene is theory of planned behavior. Okay, the security guard doesn't alert about the surrounding that let the worker poison. Okay, lastly is way to improve, which is we must be alert with our surrounding and always be suspicious with the people that you doesn't really know. Okay, that's all. For the critical incident 3, which is synopsis of the video, the first one, in the scene, showed that she bring in a cup of coffee in the museum during working hour. The critical incident, as we all know, we cannot bring any food or water to the museum and cannot drink or eat during working hour except for lunch break only. Okay, the analysis of the scene, we can see she is undisciplined. The worker is undisciplined because we cannot bring any food or water while entering museum, as it is the rule that been stated in the museum to preserve the artifact from being broken or damaged. The causes or effect that she will do is because of her action, many tourists or worker will break the rule because she already did it in front of Eric and the bodyguard. For the theory that I use for this scene is undisciplined theory. Because why? The worker has no discipline that she bring the coffee to museum. The last one is way to improve and how to improve. Okay, after this, we should be alert and the others worker need to remind each other for follow the rule, because when we remind each other, it will help to remind our rule as well. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Shazwan Akmal bin Ahmad Shukri. I am from RSR 245 4B. Okay, next I will proceed to the present of the critical incident 4. Okay, for this scene, the synopsis of the video is the T'Challa put sound tracker on Captain Ross' shirt during the interview with Claw, the artifact dealer. Okay, for the critical incident that from the scene show that the T'Challa put the sound tracker on Captain Ross' shirt without him notice it to eavesdropping. Okay, for the analysis for this scene is disloyal. This is show that T'Challa is disloyal to another people to get some information about the artifact dealer. Okay, for the causes or effect that this will affect the trust issue between the other worker, that they can't trust you anymore. Okay, there is have way to improve that we can solve the issue by being cooperate with the worker to get some additional information that we need. Okay, for the theory for critical incident 4, there is theory safe concept maintenance that allow T'Challa to engage to some level in dishonest behavior. Okay, next I will proceed to the critical incident 4. Okay, for the scene, that synopsis of the video is Eric Killmonger and his team ambush and break the police station to bring Claw out from the police station. Okay, for the critical incident, there is Eric Killmonger and his team was ambushed and break the police station that have a high level of security without whole department noticing it. Okay, for the analysis that unwatchful, that we must alert of our surrounding to ensure all of our people being safe from villain. Okay, for the causes or effect, there is because all of the worker busy to know about the interrogate between Captain Rose and Claw in the investigating room without the noticing that Eric and his is trying to ambush the room. Okay, there is have way to improve that we must be alert about our surrounding to avoid any compilation in our workplace. Okay, for the theory for critical incident 5, that's theory bottleneck theory, that's individual have a limit amount of attentional resources that they can use at one time. Okay, for this scene that also have a positive incident. Okay, next I will proceed to the positive incident 1. Okay, from this scene that synopsis of the video is Captain Rose is trying to save Okaye, T'Challa assistant, from being shot from Eric's team. Okay, for the critical incident is when Eric's team is ambushed the police station without the second doubt that Captain Rose quickly pull Okaye onto the floor and Captain Rose take bullet to save Okaye. Okay, for the analysis that willing to sacrifice. Okay, there is Captain Rose willing to take bullet from saving Okaye to make sure that Okaye is safe. Okay, for the causes or effect that he do take the bullet because it is job to protect weak people and women. Okay, there is have way to improve. There is we make sure that investigating rooms has bulletproof to ensure the safety for all people. Okay, next there is theory for positive incident 1, that theory willingness theory. That this theory is based on the consideration that when people have something of importance to them.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Yasijidi bin Muhammad Sufri and I'm from RSR 245 4B. So today we're gonna go through a critical incident C. So synopsis of my video. After briefing by Shuri about the costume of the Black Panther, it showed there no responsible with the experiment item such as the costume. Okay, the critical incident from the scene, it showed the boss doesn't have any responsibility to handle with care of any equipment in the lab. Shuri and Black Panther let Former talk about item in the lab to explain clearly. So the analysis is no responsibility. It shows Shuri not care about the standard operating procedure, or we know as SOP, to ask the boss to keep the costume in the lab, and the boss also do a keep. Cause and effect, the result of not responsibility cause many equipment may cause damage and problems. Such example, equipment fell from the table. We look at the scene, the Black Panther keep the costume and back. Okay, so next is theory. For the theory, bad theory. Bad theory waste the time of educator and research. Can lead the development in effective and helpful social work practice. So as we know, Black Panther lead the development of ineffective and helpful work because he keep in the lab. Okay, next is the way to improve. Okay, way to improve is we must show a responsible skill. We must do a physical experiment, not in a lab, but do at open space or field to avoid any equipment damage. Okay, next we move to critical incident number 7. Synopsis of the video from the scene after show the communication device and shoes to the boss and tell the advantage. So the critical incident from the scene, it showed that no ethic work in the lab with all environment or all any equipment. The analysis, no ethic work, it showed the boss and Shuri not wearing the glove and shoes in the lab while touch the equipment such as communication device. causes and effect. The result of no ethic work, it may cause you will get harmless or any injury in the lab and make the worker not feel safety to do any job. For the theory, I choose a theory bad ethic work theory. Bad work ethic is an attitude that employee demonstrate that show lack of ambition and professionalism in the workplace. Example, Shuri and the Black Panther, because they not use suitable clothes. For example, Black Panther only use the fit, and Shuri not wear the glove to touch the communication device. So the way to improve, we must follow the ethic work, because it may help you prevent from any incident in the lab. If you got any incident in the lab, your incident percentage is low risk. Okay, next we move to the critical incident number 8. For the synopsis of the video, from the scene, Shuri talking to the boss and give explanation about the equipment, such as give explanation anything in the lab. They are not in a formal talk when they give briefing. They just only use casual talk. Critical incident. From the scene, it show there no formal talk with the boss to give explanation about the equipment. So for the analysis, no formal talk and casual talk, it show the boss and Shuri not use a formal talk. Such example, Shuri call the boss or the Black Panther as a brother and bro to give explanation. So the causes and effect, the result of not formal talk or casual talk may cause the worker in the lab feel uncomfortable to do their job, because feel like the boss or the Black Panther only the sibling and not their boss. So for the theory, I choose a theory deeds managerialism theory. Describe the problem to be managerialism, which is define a kind of systematic logic, a set of routing practice and ideology. Manager have one thing on their mind: control. From their conversation, Shuri has lost respect toward his employees. We can see that based on how he communicate with him, or based on how she communicate with him, just because they are siblings, Black Panther seem to be losing control by letting the casual conversation happen. So the way to improve, we must use a formal talk with our boss and show the boss some respect, and the boss even though the boss is our sibling.
Okay, for the conclusion, from the critique that we have shown based on the Black Panthers movie, have a positive issue and also have a negative issue that we can set an example in daily life. I hope all of us can take the critique as a real issue in life that can apply the positive issue daily. Like we must give a trust in other, that we can't be like a T'Challa, that T'Challa is disloyal to another people to get some information about the artifact dealer. The life and incident is this movie was create this specific issue that we can take an advantage to being this movie as how to adapt in reality, that the opposite happen from our point of view, that we know the difference of positive and negative issue from this movie. I hope all of us can manage our life daily to adapt situation on the next day based on the positive vibe, that can be like Captain Rose, that willing to sacrifice, Captain Rose willing to take bullet for saving OK to make sure that OK is safe. I think that a positive issue can bring a good vibe in our life.